Welcome everybody, my name is Mr. Llama. This is winning in 40 APM or less, and this is defending against the 4-gate ZvP. I know I just did it for PvP, but I decided, hey, ZvP would also be good, and I will do it for Terrans as well, simply because I know the 4-gate is widely used in all matchups. Definitely in the lower leagues, but all over the place really still. I've even seen it up in Masters League used a few times, and if it catches you off guard, you can easily lose to it as it is very strong. So I know that this video, the APM is going to be a little higher. I think it actually ends with like 60, and that's not good. I had another 4-gate video that ends with 40, but it didn't quite touch on everything that I wanted it to. So I was still able to hold it just fine and everything, but it didn't quite, I don't know. I felt like in this video I was able to kind of show more and just kind of like make everything a little bit easier for you to understand, just the way I played it and stuff. So I'm going to use this one. Like I said, it's going to have a slightly higher APM, and I think a lot of that's just kind of right now. I think unconsciously I was just kind of doing a little bit of like APM spamming, not really thinking about it. So don't worry too much about that. Of course, I send my overlord right over here. Oh yeah, that's what it was. In the other video, I had weird hatch timing, and so that was just kind of strange. So I will open up with a 15 pool, and I will go for the 14 drone scout. I always advocate a 14 drone scout in the ZvP matchup simply because it allows you to see if your opponent's force fast expanding, if he's going to be 2-gating you, if he's going to go for gate expand, or simply a gate opening, and then you can kind of check on his gases, everything here. So here I will see that he's opening up with this gateway. And then I can kind of get into his base, check out what's going on. Okay, he's got one gas right there. He still has energy on his Nexus. Energy is usually being spent chrono boosting out probes at this point, so that's something to watch for. And because of that, I'm actually going to take one more lap around the base. Just kind of double check everything out. See he's still mining gas over there. See he still does not have a second gas. This is a big tell for me because I'd want to know if he's going for Dark Templar or Void Rays, something he would generally have that second gas by now. And as well, I also saw he still had a lot of energy there on his Nexus. So in the meantime, back home, I get a gas. This was something that I did immediately as soon as I saw his gateway. And I simply just do this simply for being able to defend against the 4-gate, but as well, it's just good to have gas out with speed to deal with any sort of early aggression. That can pop down and stuff, of course, from them being able to open up with this faster tech as opposed to a Forge Fast Expand. So now I take my hatch at 21. That's just kind of when I take my hatch. I get speed as soon as I get my 100 gas, and I pool off of gas completely at this point because I feel fine with just my speed links until I scout in the future. And then I make 2 speed links that I will be sending over to his base to kind of check out what's going on, poke up here, see if I can see anything. If I see sentries, I'll note gate expand. If I see something like zealots, well, now I'm a little bit more worried, and now I'm going to start preparing. Because I also saw a chrono boost going down on the Cybernex core. Always good to see because that means, hey, he's trying to get out for some sort of fast aggression, most likely, to get that fast warp gate, as well as he had 2 zealots right there. So that right there is a little fishy. That's saying, okay, either he's got some weird tech coming behind this, or he's going for fast pressure with the zealots and stuff. Either way, I need to start preparing for that. So what I do is I come back here and I throw down a spine crawler. And if I were to back it up, you would see lings go up. They see these zealots right here, and then I come back here and I throw down a spine crawler. Right here, and the reason I did that is because my hatchery was not yet finished down at the natural because I had to take it at 21. So I get it up here and then I can transfer it down later. Now I also have made a few links to go ahead and poke away at these zealots that he sends out. This is always the nice thing to do. If you can snipe off a probe or snipe off a few early units, go for it. And now I can kind of maintain map control and pick off any more units that come in. So I see another zealot coming in, I pick that off. In the meantime, I move this down. I also am getting an Evo chamber right now, and the reason for this is just in case he gets some sort of Dark Templar tech or something. I know he was only on 1 gas, but he could have taken a second gas as soon as I did leave. And here I'll kind of know it's not. But he did take a second gas as soon as I left. And, or he could take a second gas as soon as I left. In which case I would know, or I wouldn't know that maybe he was getting DT'd, so he could have got a, of course, a Twilight Council and then a Dark Shrine right behind this, and those would generally hit at like 6:45 to 7 minutes, in which case I'd have my Evo Chamber up and a Spore Crawler on the way, so I could start defending against that. So now I'm just continuing to mass Lings, and I want you to note that he is continuing on with the Zealot pressure, and this is going to be fairly typical if he knows you, such as this player does know who I am and he knows I like to go for speedlings. So of course him adding stalkers, if he sees pure speedling, is not going to be of any help to him really, because my speedlings will just tear that apart. So what I'm doing now is I'm spending the time focusing down pylons, just kind of running around. I know he still has pylons hidden stuff places, but I'm going to go ahead and kill the probe, kill the pylons, just kind of move around with these Lings. In the meantime, still keep them close enough to my base that I can come back for a surround right here and attack right here if necessary. So here I see he's going to start pushing in, so I can then go focus down the pylon over here. Once again, stop warp-ins, and he has a lot of Zealots, and you think, oh no, that's a ton of Zealots, there's no way you can hold this. But of course you can, because you stream in with so many Lings. I've also supply blocked him, killing off all of these, and with the double Spine Crawler and the Lings, I'll easily be able to take out all of these Zealots right there, and it's really a fairly easy win. So not only was the Evolution Chamber good for DTs, but in the event that he went for some sort of Stargate play behind all this Zealot pressure, maybe he was doing like a 3-gate Stargate or something, and those were Zealots that he was going in for crazy pressure, and then he was going to, you know, of course, proxy a Stargate, possibly even, and fly in with that. I'd have the ability to get Spores down, and I'd have a Spore down here already for, of course, DT or Stargate play. But yeah, so it's a very, very easy hold, and the big thing I want to note is how I did not overcommit to drones. This is where you will lose the game, is if you actually overcommit to drones and then you get stuck with all of these drones, and then he comes in with this 4-gate pressure and stuff. So you have to really be active about kind of just doing quick checks. Like the first check, I checked to make sure he has 1 gas and his energy on his Nexus. I did a second pass because of that. He still had more energy on his Nexus and he still had just 1 gas. So that right there is indicative of 4-gate. Also, he only had 2 pylons in his main. That right there says 4-gate. If there's a 3rd pylon in his main, it's generally, I mean, that's one thing that would make it a later 4-gate if he were still 4-gating. But yeah, usually the 3rd pylon is going to be somewhere out here like he was dropping it. So yeah, so I just kind of checked up. I checked up with my Lings then once I made them, saw Zealots. Okay, I backed off. I got an Evo Chamber a little bit later. I got my speed, and I got a Spore Crawler as well just in case. And then from there, it was just Speedlings and a couple Spine Crawlers. And once I did this, I can actually start droning again. I don't know if I'm droning. Probably not right now because I see this. But I could actually just be droning behind this and feeling really safe. And thus it just puts my opponent in a terrible position because he's really not going to be able to win the game if he tries to push in against Spine Crawlers and this many Lings, which of course I can also get a surround with. So that's going to be it. It's a pretty easy hold, definitely, if you just kind of prepare for it and know it's coming. And really, it's just when it catches you off guard because you didn't scout it or you weren't quite looking to see, you know, what unit composition he had or anything, and you just over-droned, that you will lose. So my name is Mr. Llama. I hope you guys learned something, and I will see you guys in the next video.